Martin, so it's been a, I guess, quiet start so far, but I'm sure there's plenty bubbling behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's been what's expected. The first month of the uh, close season is often a month for jostling for positions. People have been given their contract offers. They get decision time on them contract offers, and then the market tends to start to move. We've had our own situations with the offers gone out there, where we're about 90% clear on all the decisions now, and some that have made decisions. So we're in a position where I expected us to be. It's difficult because you don't quite know what you're shopping for, because you know whether your players that you've offered new contracts stay or go. So it'd be nice when we know the final decisions from everybody, and then we can go into the market. We're fully prepared. We've got reams and reams of names, and where we want to go to replace if we have to. We'd rather not replace, but if we have to replace, then we will. So we feel comfortable. Myself, Richie, and the recruitment team have been actively working away for this since the last window shut, really.
I guess it's funny how you can go from the last game of the season where the squad's there, and then you've got your loan players that go back, players that go out of contract, and there are gaps that start to appear. So in terms of, I guess, the priorities at the moment, is it just about getting those first initial contracts done and then building from there?
Yeah, it is, but there's positions we know we need definitely, even if the players that we've offered contracts stay here. We know that we are going to need. We know that we'd want a DCM, as they call it now, a number 4, an holding position. So we've been actively looking in that market, and then some news to come, hopefully on that next week. And we all know we'd need at least one number 9, probably 2 number 9s, if I'm totally honest. And we're actively looking there. So around the other positions, it will be dependent on which players stay and which players go. But we know we've known since the end of last season that we need that DCM. We thought we never had quite someone who actually played it in a real natural way last year. And obviously we need number 9s because we lost people like Harry Smith, Charlie Kelman. So we know we need a couple in that area as well.
In terms of people that have moved on, Danny Nkrumah decided to join Middlesbrough. I believe it was an undisclosed fee the club received.
Yeah, this was active last in the January window, if I'm honest. They approached us. We agreed a deal with the club at that stage, but it didn't get over the line on personal terms. Not because of Dan, really. I think that he was being not greatly advised at that time, and it sort of scuppered the deal. They come back in the end of the season when they knew that Dan wasn't with the same representation, and they come back with the same offer they offered me previously. And for Dan, it's a great move. For us, it's one of them, is that Dan would have been probably from 23 down to 28 in our squad. So to get the money on a player and also get the potential of good appearance fees and a good sell on if he moves on, I just think it was a good move for both Dan and us as a football club, and it goes with our blessing, and I hope he progresses, because if he progresses, then we come out well financially.
Well, it's another one from the productive line of the academy there, and I believe there's another one that's signed his first pro deal as well.
Manny Harvest. Yeah, Manny. People probably wouldn't know who Manny is in terms of the football club or the supporters as such, but the people that were in the club, he's been with us for nigh on 2 and a bit years now. He came in as an extended schoolboy. Brian Sarr brought him into the youth team. He done really, really well, and we was going to offer him a pro contract, or a third year scholarship actually at the time. We was going to offer him a third year scholarship, and then he had some art issues whilst playing with us, if the truth be known. He collapsed out in a game here against Arsenal in a friendly right at the end of the season before last. And when he went into investigation, he had a kink in his artery, and the oxygen wasn't getting to the heart properly. So what we said to Manny, like we always do, we said, look, we will cater for you and look after all your medical bills, and then see where you are at the end, because no one knew if he was going to be able to play, not play. He had that procedure, and he come back at the end of last season and done really, really well. You know, he only played about 10 games at the end of last season between the development squad and a few games for the youth team. Done really well, so he signed a year's pro contract. He is a number 4. He is a DCM actually, a number 4. That's a sitting midfielder. But yeah, I'm really pleased for Manny, because it was really difficult for him and his family when we all talked about a contract, but then obviously we couldn't sign that contract, so we couldn't because of medical advice. But yeah, he'd be in around the first team. Probably needs to go out on loan to start with, but he's got a bright future, and good for him. He's able to carry on playing the game of football.
Just finally as well, obviously going up a league into League One, and I think Nigel and yourself had spoken before about the budget going up, and trying to be competitive in the league. In terms of the kind of player that the club can attract now, are you seeing a kind of step up in that?
Yeah, I mean it's the budget has gone. It's gone up. We're going to be, I think probably about mid-table in budget compared to the figures from last year. So there is a little bit more to be spent, and obviously you've got all our players that was under contract already written in rights to their contracts. The players that are negotiating with us now, who are out of contract, are putting into there that we are a League One club. So everything everything goes up. But yeah, we are in a different market. We're not quite in the markets of the Derbys, and the Charltons of this world, or there's probably 6 to 8 clubs in this league that I always said if we lose players, we'll either lose them to the Championship, or to probably 6 to 8 teams in our league that we can't compete with financially. The rest of the other clubs in there, being a mid-table budget, I'm very happy with the budget. Richie's very happy with the budget. People may be getting a little bit frustrated in terms of players coming in, but don't be. I mean, it's never been the case that we've gone. If you look at last season, we was looking back at it, we were just saying, I think we done 2 team photos last year, and you know this yourself, because we bought so many players in late. Hunt come in late, Kelman come in late, I think El Mazzuni come in late. So this, people, if you look at them 3 and what they did within our squad last year, that and loans, some of them players that we fetch in will be 2 to 3 loans. You don't get them until probably mid-July, because obviously the clubs are going to take a look at them. And whenever we speak to players that are of a good quality about coming on loan, or speak to clubs to say, they're going to do the start of pre-season with us. And that's exactly the same as last year. When we spoke to about El Mazzuni, they said it. Kelman, they said it. Hunty was a bit different because he was outside with no club at the time. So, yeah, it certainly ain't it's a 10 weeks block, and I think we've got to look at the 10-week block in terms of it opens on the 15th or the 14th of June and it shuts on the 1st of September. That's 10 weeks. I know we all want them in 10 days. We definitely would like it before the start of the season. But if the right person ain't out there, and we have to wait till the 1st of September to get that right person to make sure the squad is balanced, we will wait to them to get the right person. We ain't going to rush in to go in there. I'll look at a 10-week block. We've got 10 weeks now, and by the 1st of September, we've got to be finished to take us into to January. So plenty of time, and you've got to understand that sometimes if you go in rushing headlong, you end up making mistakes. So we do things in a process, and we do things properly.